can talk about it. In the back room of the back room, it was all bad fumes in the back room. Skeleton-filled closets in the back too. You can talk about it. 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 You can. In the back room of the back room, it was all bad fumes in the back room. Skeleton-filled closets in the back too. You can talk about it. You can talk about it. You can talk about it. You can talk about it.
West Side. Yo. Yo, welcome to the Background Speaks podcast. No, it's not. Welcome to the Backroom Speaks podcast. The brave space for creatives. My name is Law. Still. It's Law Still. And this is Lysa, a.k.a.
Still hate it here. The Backroom Speaks is still looking for an alternative co-host.
Cocaine the Dream Bennett. She's still looking for a co-host.
Like the dream.
Cocaine is back because, last week we had a pastor on and she kind of took a break. But guess what?
Stop fucking playing with me.
Guess what? we right back today with another one from Cocaine the Dream.
I was still very present.
Benet. Not really. It wasn't, Lysa wasn't herself. Okay?
I felt like I was myself.
No, because herself is really a terrible person who likes to curse people out all day.
Well, you didn't do too much of that either,
Sailor. Because I never do,
Are you fucking kidding me?
I was, I stuck to the script. Yo, shout out last episode. Last episode was so great. So great. It was really good. I watched it myself like 6 times.
I did not. I watched it like twice.
Well, editing, like you're forced to watch it. And then I watched it when it actually came out. And then we watched it together. Well, we watched it together in editing. Yeah. Then it was, but that episode was so good because I didn't get tired of watching it. Shout out to Pastor Contrell Jenkins and Jeremy Allen, the homie. They were awesome.
Thank you guys again.
Awesome. And the gems. And I want to be very clear. I didn't say nigga the entire podcast. Lysa didn't. It was actually Pastor Contrell Jenkins who did. So shout out to him.
It's probably the first and only episode we'll probably make it through without saying swear words.
Because it ain't gonna happen today. Okay. But yeah, he reached our nigga quota for the week. So shout out to him.
Speaking of niggas, Juneteenth.
That is terrible.
That segue. Let's try it again.
That's actually bad. All right, and cut. Speaking of, no, not speaking of. I was going to say the same thing she said. No, Juneteenth. That's where you were going. Juneteenth happened last week. Let me tell you something. It was great. So we're in Chicago, and going down. It was also the same as the Puerto Rican. I don't know what day is Puerto Rican Day or parade. Yeah. Shout out to the Puerto Ricans. But yeah, they did something. They were all out. They've been rolling around with their flags on their cars for the last 6 months. So I knew it was coming up. I just didn't know exactly when. But looking outside, driving around and seeing black people with the black, red, and green flags hanging in their cars, just like normally the Latinos do all the time. You don't see that from black people. So seeing that on Juneteenth was kind of a vibe, and I was really loving it. I had that pride.
Different like t-shirts and stuff. I had like 2. One that I actually need to go pick up, but I ended up wearing one the other day, which is why I'm not wearing it now. But we'll get to that towards the end.
No, you shouldn't have did what I did. Because I wore this shirt on Juneteenth and I'm wearing it today because the other shirt that I had, didn't. It's supposed to be here, and shout out to my wife because it's her fault. But yeah, I still don't have it in my possession.
Violence early in the episode
because of her.
Choosing violence early in the episode. If you get beat up,
Wives, right? Wives, right?
Can't relate. I don't have.
But yeah, no. Shout out to her. No, but shout out to everybody. Shout out to all my black people.
Yeah.
We on that sometime. And keep doing this, too. Juneteenth is not...
it's an uphill battle.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle. Yeah, but just don't stop. Don't stop celebrating it.
Did you see actually on like social media how like how people spazzed out about like Juneteenth becoming an actual recognized holiday?
I don't want to cuss people out right now.
I mean,
I posted about it. I don't know if you saw that, but
I didn't. But
look,
I'm a Twitter head too, so the niggas was really wilding on Twitter, and I just had to get off the app.
Shut up.
I just had to get off the app.
Just tell people to shut up.
Yeah, y'all gotta shut up. Y'all ain't never gonna be happy.
So I posted for the last 2 years. I watched all y'all get on here and say that Juneteenth should be a national holiday.
And as soon as it is,
and now that it
mad
is,
as hell.
y'all won't stop shaming people for being happy about it. Like, hey, the government will always be trash and never does anything for the actual benefit or consideration of black people.
How be ever.
But I'm gonna celebrate the hell out of this holiday. Two things can be true. That was my post.
Hell, the only thing I did agree with though was, buying the merch and stuff from the black-owned businesses and not putting it in the Target and Walmart, which I really love Target, but I'm going to go to Target for, like, Target-esque stuff.
Target-esque stuff.
And not no damn Juneteenth content. Right, tissue and mugs and stuff.
Socks, maybe. I don't know.
Socks. I like Target socks. Do you like Target socks?
Never had Target socks.
Okay, you should really go get you some. I'm gonna get you some Target socks.
I'm cool, I think. Actually, no. Actually, it might work. I need some socks. That actually kind of goes into our episode, which is crazy. But before I go there, I do want to mention that I watched Versus this past week.
I did not.
Look at you. It was Trina.
Damn.
Trina versus Eve, and I don't really have that much of an appreciation for Trina, her music. Like I know she had a few hits, know she did a lot of features, but I knew that when she went up against Eve, that she was gonna have a long day. But then when the verses started, I was like, maybe not so much. I knew she still wasn't gonna win, but I didn't realize. I had to get back, reminded how many features she did, but she still had a long day, and Eve still won. If you pick winners for Versus.
I knew that would be a wash just off of. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of both. For reasons that I won't really get into.
Yo, when a girl tells you she's a fan of Trina.
First of all, Trina has some nice stuff, okay?
No, she didn't.
She did.
No, okay, she sure. All right, go ahead.
She has some.
Go ahead, put the cape on.
That you just. I will not tolerate this.
I mean, come on, give me some Trina bars.
No, I can't say those.
Yeah, right.
Because I rap those in the car by myself.
Right,
maybe
by yourself.
With my little sister. She a huge Trina fan.
On your way to the church house.
Leaving, actually.
Play that Pastor Jenkins. But yeah.
Put down the cross to listen to Trina.
Gosh.
But they have some it's just like, I wouldn't say easy listening, but the stuff is catchy.
It's definitely not easy.
The content is pretty out of control. Come on now, the Trina joints. Please don't make me rap them, y'all.
I mean,
if you know, I'm gonna just say if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
I'm not gonna expose myself.
But no, everybody.
But I knew for a fact that Eve it would be a wash.
Yeah, it was gonna. Yeah. But shout out to both of them. Shout out to Versus. Shout out to Swiss and Tim.
What's next?
Bow Wow and Marion this week, I think, and I won't be present.
I'm not watching that shit.
But shout out to them. I mean, I guess not Bow Wow. I said Bow Wow and Marion. Bow Wow and Soulja Boy.
Oh, I'm really not watching that shit. That's gonna be a wash too.
But no, it's not. It's not gonna be a wash. Who are you saying is gonna be a wash?
Wait, why did you fight me on that? Who did you?
Because I don't believe it's gonna be a wash. But who are you saying? Who are you saying? Who's gonna wash who? Now, this is a very.
Yeah, nope, not doing this one.
No, I just want to know.
So today's episode.
No, seriously, who are you picking to wash somebody, or the other?
I wasn't picking Bow Wow.
Well, I mean, good job. I don't think you should pick Bow Wow. However, here's the thing. Bow Wow is going to play his kid records, and then he's going to play the few girl records that he had as an adult, and it's just not going to be enough.
And then maybe clips from his Medea play appearances?
He wasn't in a play.
That nigga should just show up to the verses and just play. I mean, the movie, same shit. The play turned into a movie. Bow Wow should show up to the verses and play. Just literally start quoting shit from Byron. He should literally just start quoting everything from Like terrible. Mike. And then
basketball is his favorite sport.
Yeah, whatever the hell.
Shout out to Curtis
Make Blow. Me like Mike head ass. I'm sorry, this ain't a Bow Wow bashing thing, but like I just can't take him seriously in my adulthood, and I can't believe I really used to fall out over that shit when I was a kid.
That's so terrible. But he's not winning his verses. So shout out to them. Nobody wants to see
winning. I won't be watching.
There's supposed to be a big one coming up that they haven't announced the people for yet, so I'm waiting on that one. But anyway, today, what we talking about?
Some shit you've been waiting to talk about for a while.
Something I've been waiting to talk about for a while.
I am like rolling them off today. I didn't have a nap. I don't even think I had coffee.
It's going to be great. You're going to make it. Because that's what people do. Especially when you're on cocaine.
Like TV!
So, I mean, when your name is cocaine. Not
Again, my email is Lysa@backroomspeakspod.com.
Oh yeah! It was all bad fumes in the back. Yeah, it was all bad.
I don't even want a resume at this point. If you just want in on it, text me.
Last time you said inbox you
420.
It's gonna be great.
I'm gonna post my number on the screen. Text me if you want the spot, man.
All right.
Text me if you want my spot.
Okay. Well, now we're talking. Listen. So today,
not my TV.
You said it. I didn't. Today, G, we're talking about culture vultures.
Something to throw at you.
Or cultural appropriation, all the same thing to me. But I feel like as there's nobody that should be talking about this. No, I take that back. If you're not a person of color, and I'm not one of those POC warriors, but if you're not a person of color, you should not be having a conversation about culture vultures. Unless you're talking about how
your shit.
Yeah.
I had to put that in there.
Have to.
Because you would have left it there.
But black people are the most copied people in the entire world for the history of forever. Right?
Absolutely. I mean, but who wouldn't?
Well, right, but black people also profited the least.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole point. So what is culture vultures? Well, what is a culture vulture? What is cultural appropriation? Simplest term, like a person who adopts something from a different culture or community and makes it their own. And then when you're appropriated, it's like you're profiting off said
making it seem like it was yours,
passing
knowing
it off.
That you took it,
and
stole it.
Just saying that pisses me off. Just the definition, but we can talk about it. Like we see this, it's the most common thing, the most common form of thievery. People who get just whatever they're created, their IP just gets taken, and nothing said about it. First of all, nobody asked you for it, and then you get to selling it. This has happened since the beginning of time.
The beginning of time, I was going to say that. We've seen it over centuries.
But, I mean, can I just ask you, like, why does that anger you? Why does that ruffle feathers? Why don't you like it? Just from your personal opinion. I
don't know. And maybe this is like my creative me talking too, but like as a person who has like brilliant moments, and if somebody came in capitalizing off my brilliant moment like it was theirs, knowing what I went through to get that makes me want to knock all this shit over. And then what we see over time is these things happening, especially, before, Jim Crow, slavery, all that time. Like when we see all of that, for that type of thing to happen and you not be able to fight for or like have a say in, hey, I need that back. Or, hey, I made that, that's mine. I don't know. I think that's the part that makes me a little bit insane. So
Yeah, I'm with you right there. Like I think that when you realize what's happening, because you didn't, or at least I didn't think about these things as a kid. And so when we see the Vanilla Soul, I mean, shout out to them. But there's a lot of that. And then like people we went to school with, you see just people of different cultures doing things like when we used to say as a kid, they're trying to stop us from saying it. Like talking black, acting black, like they're trying to tell us that that's not a real thing. Hey, guess what? It's a real thing. I feel like we always say, oh, put on your white voice. Oh, there's no such thing as that. You talking black. They try to say that to put us all on the even playing field. Guess what?
Yeah.
Don't say that to me. Because it's not true. It's a false narrative. Talking black, acting black, very real things. They try to stop us from saying that so we won't have the charge of cultural appropriation to give them. Or put that title culture vulture on them.
That's facts.
I'm losing my stuff. Cause now it's making me mad. But a lot of things that we've seen over time. So you go back to, I don't know. Like I mentioned the Vanilla Soul. So you think of a person like in the 80s, like Michael McDonald, right?
Yeah.
I actually like him. I actually don't think he was necessarily a culture vulture. I like the Dewey Brothers. But they assumed black culture. They kind of doing our music, right? You look at stores, like something that Lysa mentioned earlier when we were talking about Juneteenth.
Oh, yeah.
When you look at Target and Walmart, they got these $10, $5 t-shirts for Juneteenth. This huge, massive company, multi-billion-dollar company, profiting off something that they failed to acknowledge up until a few weeks ago when they made it a national holiday.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, now they mad. They made it a holiday. Now niggas gonna be running up in here. And that's what the white people are saying. They're saying niggas are running in here to buy these shirts now. We're not getting political. But this is why we don't like it. So we're gonna probably mention a lot of stuff about music because we're both musicians. Yeah. But it goes across the board. And we want to keep this so we don't get into a super political rant, obviously, but
just see the struggle for a lot of these, people and huge companies that desire that much to be that relevant. Mm-hmm. Now you got to snatch our shit.
And guess what? The whole thing of a starving artist, like a lot of these artists who are like performing on your street corner, downtown, subway, there were people who went and took what they were doing and took it somewhere.
Took it mainstream.
And they're profiting off it majorly. And them niggas are still performing on the subway, on the Blue Line.
Which sucks.
It's crazy. But it's very much a real thing. And really, I guess where I wanted to go is, why does it always continue to happen? Like, why do we let it happen? Now, this is because I have my crazy, stupid thoughts, right? Not stupid, but weird thoughts, but like just personally, off the cuff, like why do you think it continues to happen or we even let it happen?
I think it continues to happen because, number one, people don't have the amazing lawyers that Nona Gay had.
Not my TV!
I don't know if y'all remember that with the Robin Thicke thing.
Oh, they remember.
Man, Nona Gay
Robin Thicke remember too.
$9 million, 9.8, something like that.
For real, remember it too.
For real, which really makes the whole situation terrible. But I don't think, people have, and this gets into a conversation that we had, quite a few episodes ago. A lot of people don't have like the resources to actually go after and attack these things, you know, on a grander scale. It's like if we birth an idea in this room and it gets leaked and now it's world, you know, spread out all over the world. How the hell do we get to the source of that? You know what I'm saying? Like how do we pinpoint that? So I think that that's something that definitely plays a big part in it. When, you know, the corner store idea gets into corporate hands.
That's that part.
And so
I think that
God, especially in music. Jesus.
Especially in music. I think one of the things is like sometimes I feel like we don't have a choice, right? Because the big business is gonna big business. They're gonna do what they do. End of story. I think it goes a whole lot deeper than that. Slavery. White babies were fed breast milk from black mothers. We raised you niggas. So since the beginning of us stepping on this soil, white people saw, and also be very clear, this is not an indictment on white people. It's an indictment on some white people. Okay? White people, from the beginning of us stepping foot on this soil, against our will,
Facts.
white people saw things that black people were doing and said, hey, I like that. You're going to do that for me, for my benefit. You're not going to get anything from it. Because at the end of the day, these strong black women were breastfeeding these little white babies
Raising them.
For nothing.
Them.
You know, people are going to say I'm going too deep with that one. Maybe.
No.
But I think it's a real thing for sure. And I think that mentality travels through generations. Mm-hmm. And that's the sad part. Since the beginning of time, whites have known that other cultures had things that they like, but didn't deem those cultures worthy enough to give them credit for it. So it's like I feel comfortable enough to, it's like me coming up to Lysa as a woman. She's a woman, and I just smack her, and she does absolutely nothing. There is no way I should feel comfortable enough to walk to Lysa, a woman, a black woman, and smack her. A man should never be that comfortable, but
you would have to die.
Sometimes that happens because we see domestic violence cases happen all the time.
X.
So what made that man comfortable enough to come up to you and just hit you and you be okay with it? That comes from trauma, decades or generations of trauma.
Something really, really, really good. You're speaking something really good there. And it's funny that you bring that up. It's funny that you bring that up. Because I'm tapping into like a different idea of it. In certain cases, do you think that, you know, not people so much, you know, wanting what we have, but they feel that much inferior or feel like that whatever they have is threatened a bit?
Mm-hmm.
Like why do you get to be brilliant, show off your brilliance, and why do you get this amazing music, or why do you get to impact these people, that caliber of influence? I think because we have extreme crazy means of influencing people everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I think that in some cases that can seem like a threat. That can seem like a threat. I don't know.
I love that. I think part of it is, yes, they, you know, the threat thing, and even especially if you talk about where, you know, the crazy place I just went with slavery.
Yeah,
that threat thing is that's a real thing. It's like we got to keep you down in your mind so that you don't actually use the power that we know you have, right? Mm-hmm. but it's also a control thing. I need to make you feel that you're not worthy enough so that I feel comfortable doing this.
Yeah. That's real.
So if we talk about music, all these artists are doing literally the same music that they're taking from black artists. The same. And I don't want to make these people sound like terrible people. But if Justin Timberlake put out Cry Me a River, right? Mm-hmm. Was that an NSYNC song? No, that was Justin. You know who produced that record?
The Timberlake record?
Mm-hmm. No. Timberlake. And I'm going to talk about that too. Yeah. And Timberland is one of the GOATs for me. He's on my Mount Rushmore producers. But on that Timberlake record, that's an R&B record. That's an R&B record. You think that played on urban R&B radio? It did. But guess where it went straight to? Z100, Kiss FM, Top 40 radio.
Chart it immediately.
Top 40 radio. You know what they call that? Pop. Not R&B.
And we definitely just got into this in the last verses.
They don't call that R&B.
Word, that pop word, man. Look how that shit is like transformed over. Like now, I don't know if y'all saw our mini verses. If not, go back and watch it. It's 2 episodes of it. Get into it. But to see how pop culture and we just started with the 80s, but how it's like literally transitioned over 40 years. Because
it became not a genre, but it became
a sound, a look.
Well, not even that too. But now it's just who's doing it. Because now, if I, a black man, do a song, a white person does that same song, for me it's R&B, for them it's pop. Same song.
That's real.
That's what I'm talking about. Right? Like, that's what's happening. And that's, okay, do I call Justin Timberlake a culture vulture? Because he's literally profiting off our culture. Our culture, he's doing our music, because that's R&B. That's an R&B record. A black producer produced it, but they called it pop. He shoots however far up the charts. It's a huge record. It's a smash. It's top 40 radio. Black person, not so easy to do that.
Facts.
Same. You put that same song, because I feel like Justin Timberlake's black counterpart is Usher. So if you look at Usher would have bodied Cry Me a River.
It was his bag.
Usher would have bodied Sexy Back. Shout out to Pharrell. That was before Usher got in his pop bag, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. But would have bodied those. Would they have made the same impact? This is pre OMG when Usher came out, because that song did go top 40. But flipped him. Sexy Back and Cry Me a River, these 2 songs were pre that era of black people doing pop records. So when Usher,
My Love joint too.
My Love, that was Timberland. So that's the same album as what's it called? Like these. That was before Chris Brown went in his pop bag. That was before Usher went in his pop bag. I'm talking about that up-tempo pop, that the sound pop, so to speak. You put Usher in those songs, he would have bodied them. Do they go straight to top 40? I don't think so. Those are a couple examples, but like that's why it pisses me off. But why do we continue to let it happen? Part of it is what Lysa said. Actually, a lot of it was what Lysa said, but because we like some of that stuff. We were jamming to Sexy Back. Cry Me a River is a hit.
So do we dismiss this shit because of how it makes us feel?
We do it all the time. We shouldn't.
Yeah.
But do we? Absolutely. But My Love felt great.
That was a great record.
I mean, shout out to Timberland. Now, my question is, do we blame a Timberland or Pharrell for this?
We can look at that two ways. I think that...
I'm curious for this.
So, I think that in a lot of ways, those types of producers are enablers. I think they are also opportunists, capitalizing on what's popular at the time. Hey, this is gonna make me some money. Let me throw my smacking shit on this face, capitalizing on their culture, our culture, but riding the wave of what's popular. Who wouldn't?
Okay, I'm gonna fight you on that a
okay.
little bit. Let me push back. Let me give you another perspective on that. When that makes sense what you're saying.
Thank you.
For these two producers, not so much to me.
I was kind of answering that a little bit general.
Yeah. But I want to be very clear. Both Pharrell and Timbaland, Mount Rushmore producers. But are they enabling them? 1,000%. Because, let me tell you something. Justin Timberlake, he completely became what he thought a black. Why is a white man wearing a do-rag? I have no idea. There's no reason for a white man to wear a do-rag. But he literally tried to be black. And whoever disagrees with me, fight me later. And my hands do work. But they were trying. He was trying. Once he split from NSYNC, he got out of that dirty pop phase real fast.
Wow.
Right? Got out of that and went straight, I'm trying to be a nigga. And then that worked for a little while. And then when he wanted to be white, he was able to flip that switch again and he was sweet. It shouldn't be that easy. And we embrace it so much because the music is jamming. Guess why the music is jamming, Lisa? Who produced the record?
Black people.
Now, people are going to look at this episode. There's a certain type of people that's going to look at us and be like, yeah, y'all talking that shit. And then there's another sector of people that's going to be like, this is reverse racism. You sound like elitist.
Yeah, email me.
Yeah, email her.
Me.
I don't want to hear it.
I'm going to just print it off and put it on my wall.
Like a dark wall?
Yeah.
Target practice?
Right. Take it to the range.
We have to, and by the way, I don't want you guys to sit there and go like, well, I ain't listening to Justin Timberlake no more. Like, I'm not trying to tell you who to listen to because that music is jamming. I love Cry Me a River. It's a fire song. I love, what was the other one that you mentioned? My Love. That's probably the better one.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
What was the record? That whole, I don't remember the name of the album.
That's not 28.
But he had a Pharrell lane, and then he had a Timberland lane.
That's very true.
And both were fire. By the way, somebody should talk about what is in the water in Virginia. That's really left, but to have Pharrell and Timberland and Missy Elliott and Chris Brown and the Clips. To have all that there is kind of really crazy. Especially when you think of Pharrell, Tim, and Missy. In my opinion, those are three of the greatest producers of all time.
I agree.
Missy, Pharrell, and Timbaland all in one city. That's insane. Anyway.
Looks like I'm moving. We needed a funny.
I mean, can't really. But why we need to stop? Like, do you think we will ever stop letting it happen?
I don't even think it's a matter of us, stopping it from happening. It's just there's always going to be some aspect that people want to mimic. Look at,
always
women with the white women with the plastic surgery, the fuller lips, the everything that a black woman or
you're getting to another bag now. Go ahead.
Look, but
get it off. Get it off.
That's the reality of the situation. I'm not attacking nobody because y'all done took off with these BBLs the whole time. But like, seriously, the Kardashians.
Okay.
I'm gonna get canceled. Gotta get canceled.
It's over. Applause.
Thank you here all week. But even from the look, the sound, look at how. Check at your favorite. I'm gonna quote and say white restaurant, but check on them during Thanksgiving time. See what type of ethnic dish they can come up with around the holidays. Gosh. Mimicking the sweet, but like look at where, like, it's more than in just music.
No, yeah.
Seriously, it's in the schools. It's in education.
It's in film.
It's in film.
My God. Hey, David Simon, I want to talk to you.
Mercy.
David Simon is the creator of The Wire. And The Wire is, a lot of people say it's overrated. It's really not. It is really one of the greatest shows of all time. Even season 2 that everybody trashes, it is a very slow season, but when you put them all together, it makes perfect sense because it tackled. It's a great show. It's created by a white person, and all the nigga shit that all of the black stuff portrayed in this film.
Black stuff.
When how do you look at a white person when they're creating that? They should not be telling this story because they know absolutely nothing about it for real. At all. And guess who's making the money? Hey, Michael B. Jordan didn't make a whole lot of money from The Wire. Neither did Idris Elba. Okay?
But for a white person to be that much obsessed and immersed in culture like that, I mean, that just speaks to the point. That just speaks to the point.
Yes, because it's intriguing. It's captivating. Like,
how does it feel to be fascinating?
But there's the other twist because it's so fascinating. So people love it so much, but they don't really want to live it.
That part.
I said however long ago, niggas want to be black until it's time to be black.
That's real. That's a T-shirt.
That's exactly what Justin Bieber did. He was black until he didn't want to be black no more. Justin Bieber, he was hanging around with niggas. He was running around with Quavo. He was running around with Sean Kingston. He got tatted up crazy. He's smoking. He's saying nigga, singing nigga. And then it got bad and he started getting, pulled over and getting locked up and stuff. And then all of a sudden he had the Comedy Central roast, which was hilarious, by the way. He had a Comedy Central roast, and then all of a sudden he turned back white and put out Where Are You Now? Whatever the song was called.
Welcome back.
That song was fire, by the way, but still. He was black. He was trying to be black until he realized, I don't want to be black no more. The problem with that is it was the niggas he was running around with let him do that.
Enabling.
I posted also a few, I saw it, I think it popped up in my memories or something, but I said, I remember a few of you black people who was letting them 2 white boys from my high school, Curie High School, I graduated in 2008, it was 2 white boys, y'all let them say nigga around y'all. Y'all was on the football team. Name started with a V. I won't go there. They just let them do it. And that's why niggas feel comfortable. Remember what I said about, if I walk up to you and hit you, I should never be that comfortable? They should not be comfortable doing that around me. You should not be that comfortable. And what happened is because we've tolerated it, but more than tolerated, we've accepted it. We've all welcomed it with open arms so long. I'm talking about the appropriation. Them doing our music, them portraying us in films, and they're just profiting off of it. We've accepted it and welcomed it for so long that everybody just feels like they can come up in the house and be cool. Everybody's welcome to the quote unquote barbecue. I hate that analogy, by the way, but yeah. Stop it.
And
it's black people's fault. No, it's not black people's fault. Because it's not black people's fault. Slavery wasn't a choice. This is not that argument. But black people continue to let it go on. Because I feel like if we're vocal enough about it, if we stop clearing these records, if we stop doing these features with these people, they're clearly doing your shit. We're welcoming them with open arms. But the moment there's a video that comes out of them saying nigga 10 years ago, you'd be like,
are you surprised?
So we got to stop that. Do you have any examples of like people who you deem, I mean, we mentioned a few, but like, do you have any at all? That like just maybe irked you a little bit or just historically? Even if it's ones that we already talked about, but just anyone.
It was that it was definitely that damn Miley Cyrus.
That's also a product of a black producer.
And we watched her grow up from Hannah Montana, and she was one of the ones that like probably because I watched her like transition. It's just like, damn, we let this happen, and then she.
Let me tell you something.
What how I handle that one.
Party in USA is a hit. I want to say that. That's a fire song. I don't know what happened after that. But she linked up with Mike Will, made it. They did that song. I forgot what it was called, and then it all went to hell from there. But here's a few that might surprise people, because I got a list of people. Let's talk about R. Kelly for a minute. People are gonna ask, how is he a culture vulture?
I was saving it for cancel, but anyway.
Oh, that too. We ain't even gonna get there. Yeah, that's gonna be an episode. Cancel culture gonna be an episode. R. Kelly, I feel like he was a culture vulture. He culturally appropriated church culture.
I slapped it on an inspirational song.
I feel like that he was conveniently doing fake gospel inspirational music when he was in the thick of his shit. Because you had Chocolate Factory came out right when the stuff was happening. Chocolate Factory is maybe a classic album. Hey, by the way, R. Kelly's canceled. He is I know a lot of y'all think it's cute posting. Do you still listen to R. Kelly? Yep. Yeah. No, I don't. So he's canceled, but he had classic, timeless music.
Does.
Albums. Well, yeah. To me, 3 classic albums. But I think he appropriated church culture or gospel music culture, however you want to frame that. But he conveniently did that. He made a lot of money.
With I Believe I Can Flies and I'm Gonna Trade. That was him, right? That bullshit.
But then that whole You Save Me album.
Yeah, but...
Just the whole story and played on the gospel radio stations.
Yeah.
pulled on the heartstrings of people.
We love a good redemption story, don't we?
Yeah, like, so what? He touched a 14-year-old girl.
He gave his life back to Christ.
Right. And then now he's in jail. Let's talk about the music scene in general, how it's appropriated off of church culture. Appropriated church culture. Where are all these bands coming from?
The church.
And where's the money coming from? See, here's the thing. And shout out to like the big names that we know that like from our city that have been lucky to go on tour.
Play for these bigger artists and stuff. Yeah. Cool.
Shout out to y'all and doing a great job. But I hope because we always talk about how the church don't, and I actually looked at that video you sent me the other night about the church, how they treat black musicians, how they treat musicians, or whatever. That was very good. I didn't say that.
You didn't.
But we often talk. I hear people always say like the church be treating the people like trash, treating the bands or the musicians like trash. You need to go get the R&B money. You need to really get on the road, go on tour.
Why does that even have to be a thing?
It shouldn't have to be a thing, but how we know how these people getting treated on the road? And should they be getting more? I played for an artist. Me and my brothers played for an artist, and we were that show. You take us out of that show, that show would have been trash.
I think I know who you're talking about.
It don't matter who I'm talking about. But that's a lot of these artists. I wouldn't care if they didn't have a live band. And a lot of people wouldn't. So they go hire a band. They pay them $300 for a show. Or even if it's $5, is it enough when you've contributed, when you're the show? Because what is the artist leaving with?
10.
What's the artist leaving with versus what they actually put into it? And we can talk about, we can literally go here all, like, it's crazy. We can talk about TMZ.
Oh, man.
And before I haul off, do you have anything to say about TMZ?
Oh, I'm not touching TMZ.
Well, okay, here it is. Harvey Levin, who is supposed to be this LGBT warrior. I think he's a homosexual.
Is he?
Yeah. Right? I only say that because it's not that important that he is or isn't, but I only say that because you expect people who are a part of other marginalized groups, you expect them to have a little more empathy for other marginalized groups, but no.
Don't always work like that.
It doesn't happen. What happens is they profit off black stories. They say the worst of it all the time. Even Kobe dying. They reported Kobe's death before. Like that's how these people find out. That's how their family finds out. And we're seeing footage of the plane debris.
That was sick.
Or when somebody's cheating on their wife, or when somebody's fighting, but it's always niggas. They don't report the white stories with the same energy.
I like how you said that.
Hey, black people, we're not for sale. We're worthy of whatever we feel like we're worthy of. It's not for me to place worth on you, but it's definitely not for them to do it. Right? Because it's going to become a time where niggas is just going to start squaring up. Because that's how serious I take it when someone steals from me. Don't steal from me. Like, as my friend, Lysa, one of the worst things that she could do as my friend, as a friend that I trust. Like, I feel like if I'm at home, I would trust her to be in my house unsupervised. I'm sure my wife feels the same way about her friends, right? Or like them ones. Don't steal from me and then look me in my face and help me look for what you stole. That's what they're doing with our music, with film, and it should stop. Shout out to the people, though. We're 50 minutes in. We're almost done. Shout out to the people who seem, maybe they are, I wouldn't call them culture vultures, but they are people who kind of profit and,
Circle it back. Cycle it back. Does that make sense?
Cycle it back. What do you mean?
Like profit and then
Cycle
put
it
it back.
back.
Cycle
Yes.
it back. Like, I didn't know how else to say that.
My mind ain't the best. But those people who like maybe are profiting off of our culture, so to speak, but they cycle it back, like Lysa said, or they give it up. They give the credit. Bruno Mars is one of those people.
Oh yeah.
I still don't know what nationality or race or ethnicity he is. Do you? Mm-mm. I don't know what he is.
Let's find out.
But he always gives it up to black people. I look at a person like Michael McDonald. I look at and Michael McDonald he's up there for me. Doobie Brothers, like Minute by Minute, is one of the greatest songs ever written. What a Fool Believes is one of the greatest songs ever. What a Fool Believes. I love that song.
Give him a lap scar.
Fat Joe is another one. He's Puerto Rican, but he's another one that gives it up. And I put another hip hop artist on, Action Bronson. I don't know, like you got to be a real New York hip hop fan to know who that is, but he literally sounds just like Ghostface Killah. And they actually kind of went at it for that reason. But he really gives it up to black people, and he's actually a dope rapper. White, fat, bald head, black. Now bald head, white rapper. But he cold. And he's a real New York mo. You know what I mean? But like to the people who really give it up, because at the end of the day, black people control the cool, and I don't think nobody can argue that. Whether you want to or not. White people.
They don't want to admit that either.
No. And that's okay. Well, actually, no. This whole point of this episode is that let you know that's not okay.
I just love that.
But the point is, like, stop. First of all, just stop doing that. But no, it's gonna happen. Is my point. You can't help but to follow what the hot shit is.
Facts.
But give me my credit. Acknowledge the fact that you didn't come up with this on your own. It made me mad when I heard Katy Perry do that trap record.
I really love Katy Perry.
It made me mad when Katy Perry, and I love Katy Perry too, and that's why it made me mad. Because it's like, yo, what was that? What was the name of that record? Dark Horse with Juicy J. Guess where that went? It didn't touch urban radio. It didn't touch urban radio. It went straight to top 40. And there's nothing but it's just a song with trap drums and Juicy J. I don't know if people know. Like, I feel like this generation now, they only know Juicy J from like bands that make a dance and like stuff like that. No, Juicy J, if you, or, 3 6 Mafia, look them up. Look up 3 6 Mafia, DJ Paul, Crunchy Black. I mean,
You're telling our age.
Project
Your
Pat.
age.
Who Run It is one of the greatest songs ever created, by the way.
How old are you?
I'm 30. Be 31 in a couple months. So stop doing that. That's all. And once again, this is not an indictment, even though it kind of is. This is not us hating white people. Love all my white friends.
Me too.
I love all my white friends. Shout out to all my white friends that wish me a happy Juneteenth. Even though I didn't know how to feel about it. You know, it's like, yo, we gave y'all freedom, so happy Juneteenth, niggas. No. But shout out to them.
You go. To hell you go.
Not my TV.
I used that drop too much today. But no.
7 times.
Shout out to all my white friends. Shout out to Lisa's white friends too.
Yeah, love you guys.
We're done, G. We're getting out of here because we're gonna go. Listen, I do want to say, Patreon is coming. Not this episode. We're still gonna be on YouTube, but I want niggas to brace themselves because I feel like a lot of people like that last episode. We're gonna keep doing this. I feel like people are gonna love this episode too. You know, the content is gonna be great, but I want you to kind of
show some signs.
Show.
Sorry, churchy bro.
Come on, somebody. If you love listen, show some. Okay. But yeah, get ready to pay us at least $5 a month. That's it.
That's it.
For the video. And those who only listen to the audio, give us $5 too. Even though you don't have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we are building something here. We're, help us out a little bit.
That's it.
What you got on, Lisa?
Oh, you mean my fancy jacket?
No,
here?
I didn't care about the jacket.
Okay, fine. Go to hell. This is a really dope T-shirt that I just bought. CULTUREgate. Shout out to Rob Woolridge, an amazing bass player in the city of Chicago. He has some merch. He actually just dropped some hats recently, but he was selling these T-shirts. I'm like, hey, I like that guy. I support that guy. I'm gonna grab his T-shirt, and that's exactly. It was an impulsive buy. He's building. He got awards actually to show for his stuff, but yeah, he was posting about it on Instagram, and so what did I do? I bought some stuff from him, and this T-shirt is one of them. So go and support Rob Woolridge, CULTUREgate. Amazing musician, amazing producer. He's in his producing bag. And I'm pretty sure he got some more stuff coming out too. So what you got?
Well, I already said it, but the Faith Moves joints. Faith Moves joint.
Okay.
But it's the Faith Moves Juneteenth joint.
I didn't even know he was doing.
I have the faith of my ancestors. Yeah, I got it late. Shout out to him too because go to Faith Moves online too. faithmoves.online is the website. But yo, I ordered it late because when I saw it on IG, I was like, yo, but it was like Tuesday. And so the shipping be like 5 to something days or whatever, then like expedited or whatever is different. But I ain't want to pay for it. I was like, I'll rock out and get it late. No, it got here Thursday. I was like, yo, so like they just like kind of proactively just rushed it out because they knew niggas was trying to get it for Juneteenth. So that was really dope.
Yeah, that's dope.
But yeah, Faith Moves online. We'll put everything up. I bought a few more Faith Moves shirts too because I'm really late to the party on that. I've been meaning to, but yeah.
I didn't want to cruise, but
Shout out to them. It is hometown. It is episode 11. I don't even think we said that at the top of the episode, but it's episode 11.
I didn't mention it at all.
And like I said, man, be on the lookout for Patreon. Follow us everywhere still. We still want more followers.
Following?
I mean, come on.
Yeah. I got an interesting, before we get off here, I did get an interesting email that we had reached a certain amount of downloads on Buzzsprout. Mm-hmm. So I see you listening. Does that make sense? I see you listening.
Yes.
I see you listening. And that made my day. I was like super excited. And I took a picture of my watch because I get my emails on my watch too. And I sent it to him. He like, yo, like, so we see y'all. We see y'all messing with us. And we appreciate the love again.
Now give us $5.
Give me $5.
I'm telling you, we're building something here. And the things that we're going to do, see, when we do them, you're going to understand why we wanted that $5. And soon we probably won't need it, but we want the support. We appreciate what, like, you know, just downloading the pod. Look, if you're looking at it on YouTube, Like, we appreciate that, but
sharing the post.
we're trying to do more stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to do it either way. I'll tell you that. Because we still ain't got our money back for all the money that we put into this pod, and we're still spending money.
God.
You know what I mean? So we're going to get it done, but we just want y'all to go along with the ride with us.
Yeah, man.
Either way, we love y'all.
We love y'all. And we going to be here a while, so sit tight.
Facts.
Get real comfortable.
Facts.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Either way, it's episode 11. She's Lysa sometimes. Cocaine the Dream Bennett. This is the Backroom Speaks podcast.
The brave space for creators.
Because
find me another.
Find me another.
You can't.
One, man.
You can talk about it.
Really?
In the back room of the back room.
Ooh, yeah.
It was all bad fumes in the back room. Skeleton-filled closets in the back too. You can talk about it. 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 In the back room of the back room. It was all bad fumes in the back room. Skeleton-filled closets in the back too. You can talk about it. 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 You can talk about it.